So in this video, I would like to explore with you the power behind the word surrender. How this is really being stirred up and invited for all of us with the current astrology. And can we move beyond this more colonial understanding of surrender, where there are winners and then there are losers who have surrendered on the battlefield. They've surrendered because they've been defeated by a stronger force. Can we shift from that perspective and into shedding of our skin, of all that is old and outdated, so we can make way for the new? My name is Chrissy Whistler. I am an evolutionary astrologer, an intuitive, a parent, but I'm also a storyteller. So I'm really inviting you to sit beside me as I share some stories and around this idea of surrender. And as I do, can you see and find the resonance of the story in your life? And how this might be applying and weaving in for you. I really encourage you to let me know in the comments how this lands, what's being stirred and brewed up for you by your soul, by the world and the experiences your soul is magnetizing to you. And if you do need extra support and you want to know why the heck your soul keeps on drawing these experiences to you, the lessons that you're needing to be learned, I do offer astrology birth chart readings. So that can be a really powerful tool to navigate these waters and to move with the flow. And you can find out more at the link below my website, chrissywhistler.com. And please like this video, subscribe to this channel. It really does help me so much, especially when I'm not doing the typical videos out there where I'm giving you this information in 30, 60 seconds, and instead taking the time to have the language and to tell these stories. So thank you so much, and I really do appreciate for you being here at this time. Now, surrender. Let me know, what is the first idea or definition, images that come to your mind when I say that word, surrender? What does that mean for you? And what has it meant and shown up in your life? The reason I ask is this is a big part of the astrology. This life, death, rebirth process that we are on, all of us, a collective humanity, taking place in the macrocosm of our collective experience, as well as in our personal lives. This is the work of Pluto, very much so, about this metamorphosis and transformation. And it's also weaving in beautifully with the galactic Mayan calendar. And I'll get to some of that more astrology parts in a bit, but just know this journey of being the phoenix rising from the ashes to be reborn into something new is in the field. So whether or not you're saying yes to that journey, you are in that journey. Now, when I was speaking to a friend of mine, maybe a year or so ago, and I was mentioning these themes of Pluto and this real surrendering, letting go of what is dead, what is old, like a snake skin, what's itchy, it doesn't fit us anymore. And so as a society, as you can see in our world, we are going through a death process, a crumbling, a being cracked open. And yet when I shared with her the definition, the idea that came to her mind was giving up, giving in, being that loser on the battlefield. For her, it really meant not standing up for what is right or just. And I was surprised because that was no longer my definition of the word surrender. And this is something that I am still unweaving within myself, are these very colonial Western conditionings and programmings. And so as I look back on her response, of course that makes sense. Because that is the distorted Capricorn society world that's around us right now, that Pluto doing this dance at 29 degrees Capricorn. Pluto's currently in Aquarius at 0 degrees, but only until the early part of June. Then he's going to dip back in. And doing this dance until the end of 2024. So, her perspective makes complete sense. So what is that for you? In order for us to really see and to meet these energies, like, we need to even understand our own default programming and how deep it goes. As I said, I'm still unpacking this. This is going to be a lifelong journey because it feels like as soon as you get to the bottom, there can be another circumstance that comes up and you're like, wait a minute, I thought I dealt this thing. I did the thing. And why is it still here? Because that's how deep it goes. And so what I want to ask as well, surrender, letting go. Does it only mean losing? Or can we really start to reclaim this older natural law that is around surrendering? Surrendering to what is. Not, not standing up for injustice or speaking your truth. But are you paddling your canoe upriver in your life right now? Are you paddling upstream and you're not making any progress because of all that pressure, all that force is saying, no, I need you to go down this way in your life. So look at the nuances and even in this idea. Surrendering, letting go of the old. Moving with the flow of the river rather than going against it. So here's just one example. Do you know those times in your life when you are rushing? You are late for an appointment, and then it becomes this series of unfortunate, shitty events. Suddenly, you can't find your keys, and then you grab your coffee only to spill it all over you. Or you can't find your shoe. It's just like, and then you get in the car, you don't have gas, or maybe your tire is like low on pressure because the temperature outside is dropped. Or then there's this accident and now you are well and truly late. And how many of you in those moments do you just get more and more frustrated? And you just start swearing. And you're such this wound up coil of frustration, anger, and it only continues to get worse. So, where is the direction of the river going in that moment? Obviously, getting on time to appointment or your job is not the flow of the river. And so can you let go in that moment and just breathe and accept what is? And when you do that, and I'm speaking from experience here, okay, and you just let it go and just accept, I'm in traffic right now. I'm going to be late. Yes, this sucks. But getting mad and swearing about it isn't going to change my getting there faster. And watch how your energy changes and shifts. That's what I mean about this letting go and surrendering to the present moment. Another story that I deeply love because it touches me so much is around my children. And if you've been following this channel, you may know I talk about them a lot, but it's because they have been my metamorphosis for my greatest change. Kate and Eric were born very different from the other children. It started first with their late talking. Kate didn't speak until she was 4, and then Eric at 5. And with him in particular, he's even more unique. So it's really taken me on this journey of fully letting go of any expectation that I had as a mother and a parent of who I thought and believed my children would be. I was expecting my children to speak when they turned around 1, because that's the usual normal timeline, except they didn't. And so that journey really became about letting go of control. I could not make them be anyone else than who they were. And could I surrender that? Could I shed all those beliefs, all those fears that society had just shaped and warped into me as a parent, where I was being pushed to be in fear for my children? And instead, I really just let it go and just said, okay, you guide me with what you need and who you are, and I will follow you. And it's been this beautiful journey because I can see their blooming, their blossoming, how they are now with their language, with their energy and their heightened sensitivities to energy and emotions. Like, they would not be as grounded and, again, this thriving energy if I hadn't simply and yet very difficult said yes to them. So if you're a parent out there, I invite you to really reflect. How have you needed to really let go and surrender this control, these beliefs, these expectations? This energy is so much about death of these old beliefs and expectations, shedding away what is not working anymore. And when you do that, it creates space for the new to come in. It creates space for absolute faith and trust, which is the theme of the astrology at this exact moment in time. So where in your life are you needing to have that kind of faith and trust? Where are you being encouraged, pushed, nudged, shoved to let go of that old? To surrender it, just like you're putting, a leaf or a small boat on the stream, and you just surrender and you let it go, and the stream will take it where it needs to go, where the flow of that current is taking it. So where is your soul asking you to follow that current? I'm sure you can hear him. My son is quite loud. And again, this letting go of, you guys are not going to get a silent video from me because I'm filming this with my children around. And so instead of getting frustrated and mad of, like all the sounds, the toilet smacking with the lid, kids do those kind of things, I just letting, okay, this is what it's going to be. This is what it is. And can I accept that? Now, as I said, this is very heightened in the astrology right now. So I want to start weaving in that for you so you know as well how this is coming in. As I'm filming this, oh my gosh, what day is it? April 11th. Is anyone else having some time slippage? Let me know in the comments if you're experiencing that. But April 9th was the beginning of the White World Bridger wave spell in the Galactic Mayan calendar. Now, I'm going to also link to my mentor and teacher of this, Padma Kondro. She did a wonderful non-dual astrology view, which includes the Galactic Mayan for the year 2023. So I encourage you, if this resonates, please check that out. Now, White World Bridger is, guess what? All about this life, death. This surrendering limiting beliefs, surrendering and letting go of what is too old to carry anymore. It's crumbling. How can you have absolute faith and trust in your life to have space for that new energy, for that rebirth? So White World Bridger is a 13-day wave spell we are in. It began on April 9th, which is, guess what? Easter Sunday. Talk about the ultimate test of faith. Actual life, death, and then the rebirth, resurrection that happened. I mean, right? You can't make this up, how all these energies are lining up. We are very much, getting chills, goosebumps. We are very much being told, encouraged, guided with the astrology to move into this process, to flow with it, to surrender what we need to, what we are done holding, what has been weighing us down, and letting it go. Now, in addition to the Galactic Mayan calendar, in evolutionary astrology, we very much work with Pluto, which is the soul. This is our unconscious, okay? So your soul is bringing to you experiences like a magnet, drawing it to you. Repeated emotions, deep emotions, reactions, triggers, instinctual reactions, really coming up from the depths of our soul. Again, very deep, very hidden. So Pluto, as I said, is doing that dance between Pluto, Capricorn into Aquarius. So there's this real crumbling and breaking down of all that's in our society, cultures, traditions. Okay, Capricorn, that is old and outdated. It's not working. We're going to be moving into Aquarius, which is the energy of the humanitarian, of community, freedom, Aquarius, Uranus is really breaking into this new future. It's like mind-shattering, downloads from on high. That's that kind of experience. Now, Pluto is also square to the moon's nodes, and the south node is currently going through Scorpio, which is Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, also next to Hemia. So again, there is this energy of, from the depths of our soul, of our unconscious, what has been hidden, let it go. First, though, you need to see what is there that needs to be seen. Because if you don't ever see it, it's going to keep staying in the unconscious, and it's going to keep staying those reactions, drawing those same people, those same relationships and circumstances, and you're staying stuck in that cycle. So in order to break out of that cycle and to shed the skin, you need to know what the heck is even there in front of you. So this is very much the work of Pluto. Pluto is also in a beautiful trine right now to Sedna, who is very far out, dwarf Kuiper Belt object, very far, like 12 to 14,000 year orbit. They don't even know, okay? She is at the last degrees of Taurus and will be moving into Gemini in June. So the fact that that energy is going to be shifting signs with that long of an orbit is a big deal. Sedna is also conjunct Venus. So let me unpack some of that for you. The energy of Sedna is also about holding on to the old, this grasping on. Her myth in the Inuits is this holding on to that canoe, and her father cutting off her fingers because they're in the middle of the storm. So he forces her to let go, and as she does, and her body and her fingers sink to the bottom, the dark, cold depths of the ocean, her fingers are born and changed and shaped into these beautiful sea creatures, seals, dolphins, whales. So again, there's this energy. What in your life are you grasping, holding on, and clinging on to that you need to let go of? Again, so there can be this rebirth of what you truly love, what your soul truly values, who you are, your way, your pace, and coming into this new alignment with those energies. Now, astrology isn't done yet. This is, again, very powerful time period. So as I said, the White World Bridger is a 13-day wave spell. On April, let me just check my dates. Okay. On April 21st is the last day in this White World Bridger wave spell. The total solar eclipse that's taking place in Aries is occurring on April 20th, depending on where you live in the world. Okay, so here's that eclipse is a very big, powerful eclipse. It's going to be setting us up for this next 6-month eclipse cycle. So it's striking a gong, a tuning fork, a ripple effect, what we are going to be feeling 6 months out. And here we have the White World Bridger right there at that moment. What do we need to let go of? Now, I'm going to be speaking more about the Aries solar eclipse in another video, but I just really wanted to highlight these energies of surrender, letting go of control, and just giving into like faith, trust, that trust fall into source, into the universe, and that you will fly. And yet what though is still limiting, holding on in those fears that are keeping you contracted and small? Now, again, more of this energy is really coming through because the next day on the 22nd, we're moving from White World Bridger into the blue storm. And the blue storm is this process of transmutation. Everything that was old over here and controlled that we're surrendering and letting go of, we are now going to transmute it into that next 13-day cycle, which is taking us into the following lunar eclipse. So, very big, powerful time, which is why I wanted to take this moment to share about surrendering and the power of that and what that can mean. So I encourage you to really reflect on your soul right now. Your unconscious, your emotions, again, those instinctual, deep reactions that you may be having at this time. And asking the deeper question, why? Why is this being brought to my attention? Why is this surfacing? What in here do I need to see so I can let go and make the space for all of those new big dreams that I know you have and that your soul is here to bring forward into this world at this time? And do you have the courage to let go of the side of that canoe and just be carried by the flow of the river? Are you courageous and brave enough to let your soul be the guide for what happens next? I truly hope that this has been helpful. Please, let me know in the comments, what is it that you are being asked to surrender? I know this is not an easy time to be alive. Very difficult. So much is being asked of us. Please know that even though only you can go through this journey, your journey, you are also not alone. So if you would like to be seen and witnessed, again, please leave a comment. Know that we are here for you and holding that space. And if you do need extra support, if you want that deeper dive to understand what your soul is lining up for you at this moment in time, the transit of the planets to your personal astrology, again, please reach out. And please like this video, share it if this resonates, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for saying yes to this journey. And I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.